Hello, today we are going to discuss disaster recovery with AWS Backup and Terraform. Our agenda will be as follows. Data loss and service downtime are critical challenges encountered during disaster. Ensuring the availability and prompt restoration of essential infrastructure is vital for maintaining service continuity. This project aims to demonstrate disaster recovery solution by automating the deployment of web server, implementing backup mechanism, and showcasing the restoration process to ensure ongoing service availability. And and we will be using Terraform to deploy the EC2 instance and MariaDB database in the public subnet, the private subnet, and EC2 in the public subnet. And then we will use AWS Backup to back up those resources and use Terraform to destroy them. And finally, we use AWS Backup to back them up again to restore them from backup. While we are using AWS Backup, AWS Backup is a cost-effective, fully managed, policy-based service that simplifies data protection at scale. So with AWS Backup, we can create a backup plan and backup compute resources like EC2, storage like S3, EFS, databases like DynamoDB and other, and we have the ability to protect them using air gap environment and using Vault. And also we will be able to monitor them, also configure them, restore them, and audit them. So that are the beauty of using AWS Backup. And in the same way, we are using Terraform as infrastructure as a code for many reasons, as I will show next. Terraform is a human readable code that's easy to use, that can be used to provision computing, storage, networking, JNS, and it's easy to use, and that can be done in AWS, Google, Azure, Datadog, and other SaaS services. It also a powerful tool. And for this demo, why do we need? We need to learn more keyword to be able to perform this demo correctly, like EC2 instance, what EC2 instance, how we're gonna use it, RDS that we're gonna use to host our MariaDB databases. Also, you know about the web page that will be used to access our application in the front end. That's some resources. Other resources are be familiar with Git or GitHub. Also, be familiar with Linux terminal that will be used to work on uh, to perform all the code. Also, be familiar with AWS console and also the browser that will be used like Chrome or Firefox. There are some resources, that's a keyword that's important to know. And for this lab, we need some prerequisites that I will show next. Some of the prerequisites are you need to have an AWS account. That here's the link to get the AWS account to create one. If you don't have, you need to get Terraform installed in your machine. Here's a link to get that done. Also, you need to have Git installed in the local machine and configure to be able to work. You need also to have some basic knowledge in Terraform, AWS, and Linux. Even though you don't have those basic knowledge, I have a document that I published in this lab with all the steps to do it. Let's chip in demo. So we start a demo, and during the demo, we'll be able to use Terraform to create all those resources and use AWS Backup to back them up, and then use Terraform to destroy them, and finally we use AWS Backup to restore them. That's the beauty of using AWS Backup to restore our resources during the disaster and during anything that might happen. I thought this the demo. We will be using GitHub. The code is stored here in GitHub. Uh, as you can see, it's a lot of code, and we have most of them are the HashiCorp code, other are PHP code, and the rest are shell script. So we'll be using that. And to start, we need to go to our VS Code. That we go that shortly. And from the VS Code that I'm using here, you can use any EC2 server or any version that you want on local machine. I will do a git clone when I will pull all the code that I have in my Git repo. As you can see, the code is downloading. The code is there. I can ls to see the repository. Now I will log in or go to the repository. And when I'm inside the repository, I ls to see the content of my repository. At this point, all the code are there. I need just to do a Terraform init to initialize my repository and download all the plugin that AWS need, that Terraform need to talk with AWS. Before this, I already do a AWS configure to configure my the access key and secret key. So once I can see there everything is there ready, it's initialized. Now I can do Terraform plan to see what will be deployed after the Terraform plan. We'll see all the code that will be deployed, all the resources. I can do now Terraform apply. So after the apply, I need to say yes if I really want to create the resources in AWS. And that takes a little some time. And but before that, you see there, we don't in the RDS, we don't have any database there. And also, if I go to EC2, we have no EC2 instance running currently. When I will do the apply and say yes, we'll be able to see some resources popping up here. And that's the beauty of use infrastructure as a code that is reusable, that is portable, and that's easy to use. Let me say yes, and here we go. When I will say yes, and we see how Terraform will start like creating those resources, and now currently you see that it's done, everything's applied, the database, and it's tool was created, and here's the link to access our web page. Let me go to the console so that we can see what's going on there. Here you see that we have the EC2 instance up and running already. That was deployed by Terraform. And we have our database also up and running. And that's the beauty. Currently, we will go ahead and create our backup plan so that we'll be able to create our backup plan. Before we create the backup plan, let us go and access the resources to see how our web server look like. It's a beautiful web server that I built myself. Let us go to that. Yeah, here we go. Here is our web server, and I have the ability to enter some name and addresses. It's also a address registry, so we can add some name. I'm just asking some random name and some random addresses, just for fun and to show how our web server are able to write into the database. So all the data will be stored, all those tables will be stored into our MariaDB databases. And after the backup, we'll be able to see the same data without issue as a part of using of the backup. So as you can see, everything's up, everything's running, and we will need to go there and create a backup plan. We go to the backup, create the backup plan. Once that is done, we need to build a new plan from scratch, add a name of the data, the backup plan. You need to add the name of the schedule. And so in this case, our schedule will be daily. And currently, when I'm doing the recording is 17 is 5 I think 40 something, so that I will put our backup to run at 5:15. I mean the Chicago time. Okay, put the 5:15, set up that time. Backup is the time the backup will run. With that, everything is set up. Set up also the start time and the time to complete. And when all those are done, we can just create our backup plan. And here we go. And next, we need to add resources. Let us add the name first. Once we add the name, we have to add the resources that we needed. Those resources are EC2 and RDS. Let's select our resources, EC2 and RDS. And we don't need to back up everything. We need to back up only what we created, like those EC2 instance ID we select, and select also the database. I need to uncheck the auth database and just select the backend, the DB. And when that's done, yeah, we don't need that. Just assign the resources. And here we go. We have our backup plan and schedule ready to go. And at 5:50 p.m., we will have the backup start. Sometimes that takes some time, but that will start around those time. And here we go. That's some detail about our disaster recovery plan, the rule, the time that we start, and all the configuration that we did. And like you can see here, the backup plan is there. We are just waiting for the backup to start. And let us go to job and see, oh, the job has started creating. You can see that we have two jobs, one to back up the GB and other one to back up the EC2. They are created, but they haven't started, so we need to wait all the EC2 job just started, and we are waiting to see stage for the database to start. Let us give some time. Now it start. That's good news, and that will take a few minutes to run, and we will keep refreshing and see when that is completed. Okay, it's still running. That's good to know. And you see now it's completed. Good. If we go and look for those in the protected resources, we see that we have those GB and IDS created. That's good to know. As that is done, now we will need to go to Terraform and destroy everything. Let us destroy, Terraform destroy. And after the Terraform destroy, that we destroy all the resources. When the resources will be deleted, and I say, yes, okay, let's delete all the resources. So because we have a solid backup, here you see that the RJS will be deleting, and also the web server is also already down, and sooner it will be terminated. And once all those will be terminated, we'll be able to, even the web page, and now the web page up, but let me refresh the web page. We see that the web page will be down, and because the EC2, the web page is the EC2 web server are done, everything is done. I can confirm here that the RDS and EC2 were deleted, and the web page is we cannot access the web page. And what we're gonna do now, see that web service terminated, web page is we can access, and the job backup are completed. Let us try to backup, restore those jobs from the backup. We go to protected resources and then click on the backup, recovery point, and restore. We start with the RDS, and we need to add some input for RDS. We need to select the instance type. The DB instance type is we have a freight here that we are using. The micro one, the H3 micro, we get that one, and we need to add the GB identifier. That's the name to identify. We don't need to have a random one. But I'll add the identifier that we just call like backend GB, and with that we are good to go. We can create our restore uh, using our backup. That's done. The restore has started. Good news. Let us go back and restore our EC2, and same process, get the protected resources, get the resource, get the restoration point, restore. For EC2, we don't need to do anything. Everything we pre-populated. You see everything is there. We don't need to add anything, and we just restore. Oh, you need to choose the role. Let me pick the G for all. Okay, and restore that. All those jobs are pending. We keep refreshing, and while waiting for the job to be completed, that can take a few minutes. EC2, maybe one, and RTS maybe 8 to 10. Yeah, you can see the EC2 is already up, but it's still initializing. Database maybe already up. No, it's not up, but it's creating. So this is the beauty of of backup. And now, when everything will be up, we'll be able to access our website without any issue, and all our data will be preserved. Even now, everything is still down because our web server was newly created and it have a new IP addresses. Just all IP addresses won't work anymore. So once we need to grab the new IP address, and that for our new web server. Let me grab that. Just I will try to copy that and make sure that everything, the database is already up before I copy. It's now already. Let us see when we see the restore job are completed. That's good news. We just need to make sure that our EC2 is up and RDS also is up and running. Let us check the RDS. Yeah, it's available. Good news. We can go ahead and refresh. I think something will happen because that's the IP. Let me grab the new IP address and change here. When I replace the IP address, you will see the beauty, you will see the magic happen. And that's our web page that up and running again. That's the beauty of our backup. And so we was able to uh, create the resources and be able to use Terraform to create resources and also be able to back up them and then restore them from backup. That's the power of disaster recovery. So to in this demo, we were able to use Terraform, like I say, to create uh, those resources and for back and back up them, and then be able to destroy with Terraform, and finally restore them from backup, and we're able to access the web page, and everything looked great, and all the data was kept. That's good news. And if you want to learn more, that's some references. Thank you also to be there. Thank you. See you next time.